In this video, we're going to take a look at an important but very simple piece of technology that can really improve the overall production aesthetic of your videos, and that's using a simple auto cue. So at the moment, I'm actually not reading off an auto cue. I'm just delivering this content off the top of my head with no script. And one of the advantages of doing that, if you're able to present, and not everyone is, but it means that you can deliver a more natural and perhaps more engaging piece of content without reading verbatim off a particular script. The downside is that often you might say a lot of ums and ahs, which can be perhaps a little bit distracting from the viewer's point of view, and it might mean that you forget some of the important things that you need to say. So there's a balance to be had, and we're going to be looking at a couple of different devices that can help you to achieve a scripted performance when delivering a piece of content to camera. So depending on what equipment you want to use, there are a number of, let's call it, shoestring options. One option would be to use a smartphone and use an app. There's plenty on the market out there. Some of them are paid for, some of them are free or freemium. I'm using one that's called Teleprompter Pro, which you can get from the Apple App Store. And what this allows you to do is to create a script and then have this actually on the phone. You can determine how quickly that script progresses, depending on how quickly you want to deliver that script. And you can just record straight into your phone. Or if you don't want to capture the video actually on the phone itself, you could set this up as close as possible to the eye line of the camera that you are recording into, so that you're then reading off it from behind the camera and using it as a kind of makeshift auto cue, for example. Let's take a look at how that works. Okay, so in this scenario, I've got the Teleprompter Pro app set up just directly beneath the camera that I'm recording into. I'm looking currently directly into the camera lens now, but if I start to look down at my script, my eyes are going to be a little bit off center, so it may not be absolutely perfect. And as I said at the start, this is somewhat of a kind of shoestring type of approach. It's not fully professional, and we'll look at one that is in a moment. But the idea is that you can get your script as close to the center of the camera without being in shot as possible, and then you can read from the script, which I'll now try and do. So it allows the presenter to read the text while maintaining eye contact with the camera. It's widely used in television, news, speeches, and other video productions where a scripted dialogue is required. So again, within the app, I can change the speed of the delivery of that text to be appropriate for the content that I'm creating. But in this scenario, it's probably not exactly perfect, but it's quite a good usable solution if you don't have a more professional auto cue device. Okay, so let's now look at a slightly more professional setup. And essentially, in this case, the teleprompter system works by having a mount that attaches to a camera stand. And within this, then you have a tablet, an iPad or similar, and running a teleprompter app. We're using something called Elegant Teleprompt. And the way that this works is that it basically just reflects the text at the pace that you want onto this mirrored screen. And behind that directly is the camera that is then recording the presenter. And what this means is that the presenter can read the script at the desired pace whilst looking directly into the camera. And this prevents the kind of slightly awkward situation where a presenter is reading just a little bit off to the side, which can be a little bit off-putting for a viewer. So when you're planning your content, it's worth considering whether you want the content to be scripted or unscripted. And if it is going to be scripted, consider how you can use an auto cue system to improve the overall professionalism of the content you're making.